ready.
All right, let's go ahead and get started with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. It's December 8th. Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. I'm Aaron Mays. I represent District 3, currently serving as chairman. On my left is Commissioner Bill Rippon, representing District 1. And on my right is Commissioner Kevin Cook, representing District 2. Good morning to both of you. Good morning. All right, let's get started. Madam Clerk, first item, please.
Would you like me to go out and ask the city to shut those machines off during the meeting?
Yes.
I can do that.
Actually, that would be fantastic
I
if
can
you
do
could
that
do
for
that
you.
for us.
Oh, okay.
We'll just have to deal with it.
Item 1, proclamations, presentations. A, Shawnee County campaign presentation for United Way.
Good morning, Commissioners. Amanda Monholland, Shawnee County Public Information Officer. Today, we're going to present our annual check that we are doing for United Way. But before we get started, we have a short little video that we kind of want to share with you guys to give an overview of everything. Okay, so as you can see, it was a very cold day for our golf tournament. However, we had a really great time still, and excuse me, I wanted to recognize also that we had 18 hole sponsors this year, which is the most we've had in the last few years, and I want to thank those that participated to get us to that point. Was our department heads donating money within their departments to make that happen. So thank you very much. Next, I would like to recognize our committee members that are within Shawnee County. Stephanie Coleman, if you could stand up. Kimberly Wolf. Riley Schaefer, who cannot make it today. Angela Lewis. Mike Augenstein. And Jennifer Sauer, who also cannot make it today either. Thank you guys for all your help and participation. Next, if I could get Angel, if you would like to come up and say a few words on behalf of United Way.
It is not
Oh,
Angel.
well, maybe are you?
I am not Angel. I would not do this disservice, but my name is Trey George. I have the honor of being the 2022-2023 campaign ambassador for the United Way of Greater Topeka, and so wanted to just come out today to tell you all thank you very much, the county, both for the golf tournament, but also for the support of all the employees for donations to the United Way. We have the true honor on a daily basis to be able to see the impact that the United Way makes in our community, when working with our families, and so thank you all very, very much. We really do greatly appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, don't go too far. At this time, can I get all the committee members and we'll come up and get a photo with the commissioners?
Absolutely. I promise it won't run off with it. It's like you guys have done this before. Scoot in just a little bit tighter around Angel probably. Thank you all so much. Fantastic. Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for
Thanks.
All right, thank you to everybody involved. I know golf tournaments are a lot of work, and I know that everybody that came and played had fun despite the weather. So I appreciate all the work you guys done. Next item, please.
Item B under proclamations, Vallejo Behavioral Health Care 2021 Annual Report, Bill Persinger.
Morning, Commissioners, staff, and guests. I am Bill Persinger. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Vallejo Behavioral Health Care. 7 years and 1 month, by the way. It's been an honor to be here each and every day, working for fine people like our governing board members, Dick Klein and Matt Coward here. And they're here also to represent and ask questions if need be. We did provide you with our annual report in writing back in September. A couple things. We just updated that report for you. It's there in the packet on your counter. And by the way, congratulations for your new office and operating space. Well done. Very inviting and warm. So thank you to staff that had a hand in that. My time is yours, commissioners and staff, but I'll be as quick as I can. But of course, any and all questions you have, we're here for you. Inside the packet, a couple of brochures, just the general brochure about the mental health center. If you need more of this kind of information, let me know. And then a brochure about the mobile access partnership that serves people who are unsheltered homeless, people who are maybe living in a camper, kind of out somewhere with no kind of visible support, people who really need help. I have to tell you, having started working with people in a helping profession in 1974, yes, I was 12, this is absolutely the coolest thing I have seen. It just, I just a lot of times get tears just thinking about the work and the fact that we've reached nearly 1,200 unduplicated, distinct individuals since May of 21 with the support from Stormont Vale, our health department here, the Topeka Police Department, the rescue mission, and of course Vallejo, all partnering with some other partners as well to get out there twice a week and function out of church parking lots. Right now, in the winter, because we had to winterize a couple of our units, we're at the Salvation Army out on East 6th Street. Secretary of KDHE and her team came to visit last week, and the Salvation Army folks are just an awesome host over the winter. They have food, they have showers, and so it's a great partnership there. So we sure want to mention the Salvation Army going forward. You know, we're just trying to do a number of things along the lines of public safety, and that's the other reason I brought in an expanded report for you, just to might refer you real quickly to page 3, where it says an emphasis on public safety. At Vallejo, intentionally, the last 5 or 6 years, we have aligned our strategic plan with the needs, the goals, the problems, the challenges, the successes of government at all levels. City, county, state, and federal, as well as other nonprofits and organizations in the area who serve people who have a great need. You know, people who have almost nothing in many cases. And so much of what you'll read there on page 3 and 4, if you were going to open this page to a particular document, I might refer you to page 3 and study through that, because these are what we use your dollars for. And by the way, thank you again for the extra help this year and for continuing with us next year. It's an honor. You're helping us get through a time where we're about to transform into what's called a CCBHC. In the mental health and addictions business, we figured we needed some more letters to throw at you. So there's a national transformation going on, starting as early as about, with the Excellence Act, I think about 2014 or so, but mental health centers are becoming recognized as formal entities now by the federal government, by the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services. Of course, we'll still be a community mental health center, but hopefully on April 1, fallback date is July 1, but we're sure hoping for April 1, because we think the sun is going to shine on mental health even more than in terms of Medicaid. But we'll be recognized and certified by the state of Kansas and recognized by the federal government as a certified community behavioral health clinic. There's some information in here. I'll refer you to that pretty quickly. You know, quickly said, it's community mental health centers on steroids. That's a quick way to describe it. The doors will be wider and taller. The building, I'm speaking metaphorically, will be bigger, and the hallways longer and wider, and the rooms bigger. It's just, we're going to open up and be able to see more people and follow people better, see how they're doing, check on them, keep them engaged in therapy, lots of different things, improved crisis care. I think you're just going to see some great things over time. Now, that won't all happen on day 1, April 1. It might feel like all the staff are getting ready with new computer systems and all this and all that. But over time, you're going to see Vallejo and Family Service and Guidance Center kind of, I think, more come into our own and be able to better deliver on our missions. So another way to think about it is that community mental health centers in Kansas, and there are already 9 of them that have become CCBHCs. Vallejo and Family Service and 2 or 3 others will be in that second wave, April, maybe July. We don't want to wait till July, but maybe probably April. We'll look like an FQHC, like a Grace Med, only for mental health, behavioral health. So Medicaid will pay us at cost, and which is long overdue. And over time, if our other funding sources remain in place, things should get better. The sun should just keep shining on mental health, and it's been a long time coming. You guys at the county level have been our partners since day 1. And in fact, founded community mental health centers in Kansas. And so you're the bedrock. I've said that many, many times in my 7 years. And if I'm here 7 more days or 17 more years, I'm going to say it to you many, many times. You are the bedrock, and you are North Star, and we thank you for that. I might just refer you on back then. Just a quick 3-page about Vallejo and what we do, quick list of the services there. And then on the back, a 2-page kind of executive summary on what is a CCBHC. It'll give you a quick overview. You'll see integrated care, whole person care, crisis care, no wrong door kind of thing. Not a one-stop shop. We have to build a whole campus to do that. But no wrong door. Somebody walks in the door, they get help, and we hope to streamline that process. So just wanted to touch on a few things, deliver our annual report per regulation in person. We'll have a financial statement for you at the end of for November 30 here, pretty quick. We'll share that with you and send that to you and help you keep tabs on that. And then I would stand for question. I know that my governing board members would as well. So again, thank you, gentlemen.
Questions?
Just want to thank you, Bill, for all that you and your team do in the community. I know that you're meeting a lot of the needs that need to be met and trying to address mental health crises in our county, and even with some of the cold rules that come into place, and making sure that people are left not unsheltered when the weather turns. So thank you for all that you're doing.
Thank you. I should mention the city of Topeka's been great with the vouchers. State of Kansas has helped out to try to get people temporarily into motel rooms so we can get them a better place to live, or at least if they have to go back out on the street, to be more well prepared for that. But thank you for mentioning that, Commissioner. It's our honor to serve alongside law enforcement and rescue mission and others out there. So thank you.
Yeah, it's good to see the MAP program be such a success. And it's always good when you're coming to us with good news. And so I appreciate that.
Yeah,
So,
thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks for being here.
Bill, thank you for all the services you provide.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. Thanks, folks, and have a happy holiday and Merry Christmas.
You too. All right, next item, please.
Item 3, consent agenda.
We have several items on the consent agenda today. If there's no objections, I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Okay, vouchers of interest. Under building and maintenance, John Deere governmental and national sales, $19,683.95 is for John Deere Gator for the weed department. Under bridge project, Finney and Turnip Seed, $18,000 is for design services for Southwest 107th Street culvert for Elm Run tributary to Wakarusa River. Edbert Miller, totaling $21,500, is for right-of-way easement for Southeast Barrington Road culvert project. Under detention facility, paid with ARPA and SLFRF funds, BCI Mechanical Inc., $46,996 is for the boiler replacement. Under general expenses, Forbes LLP, totaling $22,500, is for the 2022 audit services. Under information technology, Choice Solutions LLC, totaling $10,107, is for Nutanix frame software maintenance. Under solid waste recycling, Downing sales and services totaling $21,160 is for front load refuge containers. Total vouchers as of December 7th, 2022, $1,238,282.59. If there's no questions or comments, I would move for approval of the vouchers.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes 3-0. Next item.
Item A3, consider resolution number 2022-105, authorizing a 2023 cereal malt beverage license to Croco Store LLC DBA Gas Strip located at 550 Southeast Croco Road, Topeka, Kansas. And this is, we're getting down on the number of CMBs. We're almost through. This one has been reviewed by the counselor's office, found no objection there. The KBI had been notified and they found no problems, and the township was notified and they didn't have an objection either. So everything looks good.
Great. I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes 3-0. Next item.
Thank you. Item B, Public Works, number 1, consider awarding bid to MCON Inc. for Barrington, Kansas for a Sherwood wastewater treatment system pump station replacement rehabilitation project at a cost of $3,969,738, and authorization and execution of contract C-369-2022 for same. This project will be funded using a $7 million KDHE loan with loan repayments coming from the 100% user fee funded Sherwood Sewer District Fund account.
Good morning. Pardon me. Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. It's been a long process, one that's been longer than I would have liked, but finally, on October 20th, we had a bid letting. We received only one bid, but it was from a company that we are very familiar with, MCON. They're in fact our on-call contractor for sanitary sewer work. Their bid was less than the engineer's estimate, so I'm here before you asking you to approve the bid and authorize and execute a contract with MCON Incorporated to start work on our 6th pump station project out at the Sherwood Treatment Plant System. With that, I take your questions.
Questions for Kurt?
None.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. Next item.
Item C, Planning Department, number 1, consider approval of a request to create a special project fund to transfer $18,000 from the 2022 Planning Department budget to a special project fund for modifications to the access and entry of Planning Department office.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joni Fedani, Director of the Planning Department. I'm here today to kind of round out our year. I know it's kind of early, but it's getting close to the end of the year, and I wanted to make sure that we have some funds available next year for a project that we would like to do in regards to making some modifications to our office. So I'm here to ask that you allow me to transfer $18,000 to a special project fund and to create that special project fund for those modifications. I'm hoping next year. What we're looking to do is create a service window in our office, allow for better customer service, allow it to lock our door and keep people from just walking into our office and being able to access any of the office spaces within without first being assisted and helped and vetted and allowed back to our offices. Of course, we'll bring any other project requests to you in regards to this at a later date if necessary, but for now, just asking for this project fund to be created.
Okay. Questions? All right, I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next item, please.
Item D, Emergency Management, number 1, approval of the Emergency Management Performance Grant Award in the amount of $107,692 from the Kansas Division of Emergency Management.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Dusty Nichols, Emergency Management. This is our annual grant. We've had this since I've been here, since 2010 at least. And all of this grant is a performance grant, so it goes towards salaries.
Questions for Dusty?
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next item, please.
Item E, Health Department. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-368-2022 with Alpha Media to continue the recruitment campaigns for both the Health Department, $20,040, and the Department of Correction, $14,805, for an additional 3 months.
Good morning, Commissioners. Teresa Fisher, Director of the Health Department. Approximately 3 months ago, Brian Cole and I came before you to ask to enter into an agreement with Alpha Media for recruitment campaigns for both of our departments. We would like to extend those for an additional 3 months. These campaigns have involved radio ads, social media ads, and geofencing. Both of us have met with our representatives and feel like we are gaining some traction, but it seems to be the norm that 6 months is usually what is used in the advertising world to continue those recruitment campaigns. And so both of us have budgeted these dollar amounts. I do have Stephanie from Department of Corrections, and I also have our rep, Lindsay Gutierrez from Alpha Media, and we would be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
I think another 3 months and keep filling those gaps.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item F, Audit Finance. Number 1, consider the appropriation of the 2023 transient guest tax to promote conventions, tourism, or the economic welfare of the county.
Good morning, Betty Greiner, Director of Administrative Services. And it is time to appropriate the 2023 transient guest tax. Shawnee County receives 7% transient guest tax each year from the one hotel that is located in the unincorporated area of Shawnee County. 1% of that is dedicated to the infrastructure improvements to the Sunflower Soccer Association complex. The remaining 6% is appropriated by the Board of County Commissioners to promote conventions, tourism, and economic welfare of the county. During 2022, the revenue available for that appropriation was about $61,000. So we anticipate that the amount for 23 will be, $61,000 or a little more. We have 2 requests this year for these funds. That is Stormont-Vail Event Center and the Combat Air Museum. I have representatives here from each of those organizations, and I'd like them to come up and give you a little outline of what they would like to use this money for. So, Kellen, if you would start from Stormont-Vail Event Center.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kellen Seitz, Stormont-Vail Event Center and Oakview Group 360. We tend to use these funds to further bolster transient guest tax revenues in the community. The way we do that is we utilize these funds to go out to industry conferences, solicit additional event content to come to the building. I typically take 2 of these conference trips a year. These funds allow me to take a couple more trips, different industry conferences, and then individual trips to go meet with agents and artist management representation groups to hopefully increase the amount of event content load that we get at the facility each and every year. So happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Questions for Kellen? No?
Thank you.
Okay.
Then we have Gene Howater here from the Combat Air Museum, if he would like to come up and talk to you about what they would like some money for from this fund.
May I first say thank you guys for Gary Ormsby Drive. That's the most beautiful thing that's happened in South Topeka for a long time. What I want to mention to you is that the Combat Air Museum, since the COVID outbreak, is doing everything we can to get our attendance up, and I got good news that we're doing better than ever as far as attendance in this town is coming. We typically have 10,000 people at the Combat Air Museum annually. And before COVID, we were heading toward 11, and I dropped my papers back there, but we actually got, right now we're up to 11,300, which is really good, and if it keeps going through December, we'll be heading toward 12,000, which will be the first time in many, many years we've had that number. And but we calculate that we're at least on schedule if it's typical to get to 11.6. I just say real quickly that one thing that the Combat Air Museum has done is we worked with Lamar Advertising. My assistant Dave Murray had gone to a meeting a while back, a couple years ago actually, and they kept talking about the Combat Air Museum and showing the Combat Air Museum stuff at this large meeting. Well, he got the idea to come out and sell me a billboard for the highway. As you might have mentioned, be a good salesman. And when after hearing our story, he became as good a friend as we could have by talking to us about 2 billboards. One of them is on I-70. I don't know if you can see this. I ought to hand it out. Maybe you've seen these billboards, but one's on I-70. On the turnpike coming in from Wichita, and the other one's west of town coming in from the east. And what's happened is that he's just recently contacted us because we're wanting a billboard on I-70 coming from the west. and he had a great offer out there. But unfortunately, that billboard that I had called Betty about was actually sold, but he's looking for another billboard out there. I'm convinced that the billboards are bringing in people, but the thing is what we're wanting to do is just try for 1 year. We check every person that comes through the Combat Air Museum at the front door, ask them how they found us and so on, and so we get good feedback on if they saw billboards and signs and so on. And we're hoping that, the thing is that they gave us a sweet deal on the first two, a really sweet deal with just a little over $100 and some a month, which you know is a real good deal. And we have to put the vinyl on them, which we got two more. These two signs have to have new vinyl on them at $500, well, about $480 each. And then we're going to have to, if we buy a new sign on I-70, it'd have to have vinyl put on it at about the same cost, as well as a short fee. And I could go on, but just let me say this, that our goal at the Air Museum is to do everything we can to get as much tourism as possible. And we've had great attendance from people from not only from Shawnee County and Topeka, but from all over the United States, as you well know, and the world as a whole. We get a lot of people. So, and a lot of people that actually spend the night in a hotel. Let me just add that we've got two signs in the one at the Expo Center Hotel, and another one I think at the Ramada Inn, where people can go read that, and we're advertised in there, which brings people out to the museum. And the thing is that we just need to try to do everything we can to keep people coming. So I guess what we're asking for is if we could just get some help with these signs. And when we've had bed tax in the past, it's always been earmarked for advertising and promotion. And this, anything that we might be able to get would go for advertising and promotion. And it would be go into billboard signs is what we plan to do. So if you have any questions.
Any questions?
I don't think so, but thank you for keep the advertising and keep bringing people to the community.
Appreciate it. We know we're a 100% volunteer organization, except we hire a director and an office manager, so it's a labor of love. Probably if they paid us, we wouldn't go. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other questions?
In their request, the Combat Air Museum had requested up to $6,655. Stormont Vail did not put an amount on their request.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Are we approving that amount, or are we?
So, the way I see it, we could approve, well, we can do whatever we want, really. I mean, it's, so there's a finite amount of money. We could award the Combat Air Museum what their request was. We could do a portion of it and then give the remainder to the event center if that's what we want to do, or?
What's our total amount?
About $61,000. It'll be whatever comes in during the year of 2023. You know, in the past few years, Stormont Vail Event Center has been the only applicant for this money. So, you know, we've just have paid out whatever came into them.
And historically, it's been about 50,000, right?
It's
somewhere around
yes,
there.
yeah. Depending on the year, you know, it's been creeping up, and it's creeped up now to 61. So hopefully, this next year we'll creep up a little more.
You want to make it an even 7,000 for the Combat Air Museum? I'm sure that they'll find a way to spend the extra money.
The extra, what was the extra, like $5, $10 or something like that? So,
Yeah. So 7,000 to the Combat Air Museum, and then the remainder to go to the OVG 360 Stormont Vail Event Center, and that would be a motion.
okay, I'll second. Oh, go ahead.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Thank you,
Thank
Betty.
you.
Next item.
Item F2, update of revenues and expenditures as of November 30, 2022.
Okay, this morning I'm going to give you the financial overview as of November 30th, 2022. We will start out with revenues. Through the end of November, we had received $116,655,909. That is $1,094,000 over budget. And I'll go through each of the categories and what the budget variance is by them, but this you can see just kind of as a whole, the different categories and how it makes up the total. The first category is property tax. This has not changed since last month because we did not have a tax distribution in November, so we had received $91,752,456, and that is $270,000 under budget. Next, other tax revenue, we received $14,496,448. That is $44,000 over budget, so right on budget. But I will point out that it is, we received approximately $600,000 less than last year, and that is through motor vehicle taxes. Next, charges for services. We received $5,295,965. That is $475,000 under expected, and that's mostly from two sources. DOC is $230,000 under budget on care for prisoners for other jurisdictions, and then Parks and Rec's registration is down $250,000 over what was expected. Now, I will say Parks and Rec is kind of interesting because although their registration is down $250,000, their concession income, which is part of other revenue, is actually up $71,000. So kind of a mixed bag there. And in that category, the charges for services, you'll see that it's down from last year by $97,000. The last category is other revenue, $5,111,040. That is $1,795,000 over what was budgeted or expected. Most of that is from investment income. As you know, when we set this budget up over a year ago, interest rates were almost zero and have gone up since. So $1.3 million of this budget variance is from investment income. And then penalties and interest is another $140,000 over what was estimated. So you can see from the chart here that compared to last year, this category has $2.1 million more than we did last year. Here's our pie chart that shows 79% of our revenue came from property taxes. Excuse me. 12%. Excuse me. 12% from other taxes, 5% from charges for services, and other revenue of 4%. Now we'll look at the expenditure side. Through the end of November, we had paid or encumbered $105,870,443. That is $1,621,000 under what was budgeted, so a positive variance, as you can see here. But I do, want to say that, it probably will not stay at that amount for the end of the year. That is about 1.5% of our total budget, is the variance. And we'll look at each category individually. Our first category is law enforcement. $53,408,529. That is $403,000 under what was budgeted, and that is primarily from community corrections, and courts. But I will also say that you can also see from this chart that is $3,880,000 more than last year. So even though we're under budget, we certainly have spent more this year. Recreation, $15,591,549. That is $571,000 under what was budgeted. And I just make a comment, you're going to notice most all of these categories are under budget. And one of the things that we're really seeing this year is most all departments have had some additional, or their spending has been down this year because of the employment situation. Most of them have empty positions that they've had a hard time filling, or there's a gap from the time someone leaves to the time they can get them filled again. So when we're looking at these, there's kind of a common theme across the departments this year, is generally they are under budget, and that is a big reason for it. Okay, we'll go on to Public Works, $9,727,088, and that is 117 under budget, and that is mostly from the appraisal department. And I think that the employment situation has caused that. Public Health, $7,877,330, and that is right on budget. Administrative Services, $11,061,966. That is $520,000 under budget. And you'll also notice that from last year, it's $933,000 less than last year, and that's primarily because we budgeted less for capital outlay this year. Then the last category is debt service. This did not change in November. It's $8,203,981, and that is right on budget. So these just shows all the different categories and how they stack up next to each other. And then our pie chart. 50% was spent for law enforcement, recreation 15%, Public Works 9%, and that is Public Works just from the general fund, not from any other sources. Public Health is 7%. That is also just from the general fund, not including any grants. Administrative Services is 11%, and debt service is 8%. Do you have any questions for me? Oh, let me just say, I'm sorry. Let me just say that although we show revenue of $116 million and expenses of $105 million, most all of our revenue has come in for the year. We still have another month of expenditures for December. And as you all know, December is usually a very high month for expenditures and transfers. So now do you have any questions?
Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, that was exactly what I was going to ask, Betty. I mean, as it presently stands, we have $10,785,466 revenue over expenses.
Right.
But even notwithstanding that all of our revenue, or most all of our revenue, has been received, and we have another month of expenses, you would anticipate that there will still be some money contributed to the general reserves at the end of the year.
Yes, yes. I feel there will be. I feel very confident there will be. Now, it's hard to predict the amount because, like I say, there are a lot of expenditures and transfers during the month of December. We've already seen that in the meetings that we've had during this month so far.
I would think that, you know, given our policy on the reserves, and when we have excess reserves, we look at making special projects and grants to special projects from those special reserves. Do you anticipate that that's something we might be looking at in 2023?
It's really hard to say at this point in time because it really depends on how much the departments have projects or something like that they want to transfer money into. We do have a formula that we use to determine what our reserves should be at, and then if there's excess to that. And then we also, the policy also determines what those can be used for, like one-time expenses and that type of expenditure. So it's really hard to say at this point in time how much that might be. It's also a percentage of the budget. So as our budget increases, as our expenses increase, that amount that we need to hold, increases also. So yes, that's definitely something we always look at, and it's something we will look at if we have excess reserves. We will look at how it would be best to spend those.
Yeah.
I just don't have an amount for you at this point.
I know that it's not typically our pattern, but we might look at some of the community endeavors that we might want to consider for if we do have excess reserves, since we did take our ARPA money and invest into the courthouse. So just having that as a thought.
Again, we would just have to make sure it falls within the fund balance policy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Commissioner Rippel, anything? No, I don't have anything. Thank you, Betty.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, please.
Item 5, public comment.
I don't have anybody signed up, but is there anyone from the public wishing to speak today? Seeing none, next item, please.
Item 6, administrative communications.
Any administrative communications?
Good morning, Commissioners. Again, Shawnee, Director of the Planning Department. I just wanted to make sure and invite everybody out next Friday to the North Annex. From 1:30 to 3:30, we will be celebrating Anna Ortega and her retirement. She's been with Shawnee County since, I believe, 2004. However, with the Planning Department, much longer than that. She started back in the 70s with the Shawnee County City of Topeka Planning Conjunction. And once that broke apart, stayed with the City of Topeka Planning Department for a couple of years before she transferred over here to Shawnee County. And we really appreciate all the work that she's put into this community and would like to celebrate her. So please come out next Friday, December 16th from 1:30 to 3:30.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? All right, Commissioner Rippon.
I don't have anything to add today.
Commissioner Cook.
No, nor do I.
Okay, I have one thing. We are going to cancel our meeting on Monday and handle what little business there was on Thursday of next week. So aside from that, nothing from me. Next item, please.
Item 7, executive session.
We do have a need for an executive session, however, so I will move that we go into executive session for a period not to exceed 15 minutes for the following reason: for consultation with an attorney for the public body or agency which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship, specifically to discuss the requirements of the Gage Park Improvement Authority. No action is expected following this executive session. That's my motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Let's take a few minutes to handle some business, and we will begin at 9:55. All right, we're back from executive session. No action was taken. We're adjourned.
It's cold in here now.
It is cold.
So